Here's your news for January 11th, 2020. We're starting off with one of the most interesting marketing strategies from WWE today, as the company reportedly wants to rename a town after one of its superstars. Reports have stated that WWE are looking to rename Corbin, Kentucky to King Corbin, Kentucky, and the WWE will reportedly be sending a grassroots campaign of representatives ahead of this weekend's live event at the Corbin Arena. An official statement by the WWE said, WWE representatives, as well as a WWE camera crew, will be out in front of the Colonel Sanders statue in downtown Corbin Sunday afternoon, collecting signatures for a petition for the name change. This WWE crew will also use the opportunity to give out free tickets to this Sunday's house show, and if the company is successful in their temporary name change, then cities like Foley, Missouri or Bradshaw, West Virginia may be next on the list. More news for the reigning monarch of WWE, as both King Corbin and his foe Roman Reigns will appear twice at the Royal Rumble. On SmackDown this week, Corbin accepted the challenge of the Big Dog for a match at the pay-per-view and also announced that he will be in the Rumble match just like Reigns. It was also announced that Elias, Dolph Ziggler, Otis and Tucker will be entering the Men's Royal Rumble match, while Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were announced for the Women's Rumble match. In addition to the two Rumble matches as well as the Reigns-Corbin match, it's also been confirmed that The Fiend will defend the Universal title against Daniel Bryan, and that Asuka is looking to capture her first Raw Women's title when she faces Becky Lynch. With the Rumble being just over 2 weeks away, expect plenty more names to be announced for the 30-person matches before the show emanates from Minute Maid Park in Houston on January 26th. Speaking of pay-per-view cards, a match listing for WrestleMania 36 has been spread on social media, which supposedly lists the top 5 matches for the show. On this card, Brock Lesnar would be supposedly defending his WWE title against Tyson Fury, while The Fiend, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan would compete for the Universal title. Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler are alleged to compete for the Raw Women's title, while there is reportedly going to be a 6-man tag match between Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and The Big Show, taking on Seth Rollins and the AOP in a hardcore tag team match. Before fans scream in horror at the prospect of Bobby Lashley and Lana facing Rusev and Liv Morgan at the show, it turns out that this so-called leaked card is fake, and though Tyson Fury said he's open to competing at Mania, there's been no discussion about him being part of the show. In addition, Daniel Bryan is not scheduled to be in any main events on the show, as the reported plan is still for Roman Reigns to challenge The Fiend for the Universal Championship 2 years after he faced Brock Lesnar for that same title. Whatever WWE's WrestleMania plans are, it's clear the company is keeping a tight lid on things, but fans should expect to get a better idea of the show after the Royal Rumble. At this month's pay-per-view, Brock Lesnar will be competing in the Men's Royal Rumble match, and in an unprecedented move, the reigning WWE Champion has chosen to go first. While we don't know how Lesnar, who won the contest in 2003, will fare from the number 1 position, fans should get used to seeing the Beast around, as according to Brad Shepard, Lesnar is scheduled to appear on the post-Rumble edition of Raw. Lesnar's appearances do get more frequent on the road to WrestleMania, and with reports of Lesnar appearing regularly on Raw this month, fans should get used to our beastly WWE Champion. One place fans shouldn't expect to see the Beast, though, is WWE backstage, as Lesnar appearances are both rare and very expensive. Next Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern on FS1, the show will return, and as revealed on SmackDown, the Usos will be guests on the episode. The former tag team champions just returned to WWE after a 5-month hiatus, and after everything that happened to the brothers in their time away, this could make for a very interesting interview. Now, 2019 was unquestionably the year of Becky Lynch, who won both the Women's Royal Rumble and the first female main event in WrestleMania history. Well, recently it was revealed that the man isn't going anywhere, as she signed a new contract worth $1 million to stay with WWE in what is likely a 5-year deal. This 7-figure salary is a big jump for Lynch, but she isn't the only woman to get a pay raise, according to a source for Wrestling News that said, I was told that Dana Brooke, Lana, and Sasha Banks, among others, have also received significant pay raises. Now that women are being featured more prominently in storylines, they're showing that they can draw big ratings. It's no secret that women have been featured a lot more prominently recently, and though some fans may not love everything the company does, the female stars have proven that they can draw at ratings. Lana's segments with Bobby Lashley and Rusev have drawn above-average numbers on TV, as well as huge numbers on social media, while Lynch has been responsible for some of the highest-rated segments of 2019, along with Sasha Banks. Another reason the WWE has chosen to offer these bigger contracts to all talent is to keep them away from AEW, but it's obvious that the women deserve this pay raise after years of hard work. Speaking of the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Lashley, the happy couple finished their wedding off with an abbreviated ceremony on Raw, but their reverend almost didn't make it to the ring. During the show, security tackled the reverend, played by actor Rick Malone, and new video has emerged showing Malone convincing the security that he wasn't a barricade-jumping fan. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has confirmed that the WWE staged this incident, and they showed it on camera for a brief moment to keep fans tuned into the show. The Observer reads, "People figured security screwed up on live TV and thought it was a fan. It was actually all part of the show. It was a way to get people talking by doing something out of the box with the idea that anything can happen on the show. And they did it right before a planned commercial break with the idea of hooking people not to switch channels during the break by having these people see something they thought they weren't supposed to see." With WWE being a tightly scripted promo, anytime something happens the fans weren't meant to see, it quickly creates a lot of buzz, and it seems now WWE is trying to plan out those spontaneous moments. We're jumping from WWE to AEW now, and the latest segment from the Dark Order has had fans speculating on who is in charge of the group. Fans have pointed out that a tennis racket in the background and sunglasses being thrown at Evil Uno seems to point at Jim Cornette being the leader, and though this would be a huge swerve, we doubt that Cornette would do the angle, given that he said a lot of negative things about the AEW roster. In another recent video, the leader of the group can be heard saying "wonderful," a line that Matt Hardy used in his Broken days, and if AEW can stretch the angle out, this could be working towards Hardy's AEW debut. As previously reported, Matt is expected to leave WWE when his contract expires on March 1st, and according to Dave Meltzer, Hardy is the leading speculated name for the leader of the Dark Order since they just started teasing a leader and Hardy just started putting out the videos. It's worth noting that the Young Bucks and the Hardys discussed doing a year-long storyline in ROH 3 years ago, but Matt and Jeff then got offers to return to WWE, so this angle was cut short. Speaking of Jeff, his WWE contract has been frozen as he looks to deal with his personal issues, but it wouldn't surprise anyone if both brothers joined AEW as soon as possible. Back to WWE now, and while fans may not have heard too much from Liv Morgan regarding her relationship with Lana, this may change in a couple of days. Though some think this story will be great for Morgan, who is now a top-tier player on Raw and one of the most talked-about superstars around, others believe it'll kill her chances as a main event player. According to Liv herself, though, fans should tune into Raw next week, as she says it'll be very interesting. Ever since the initial wedding, Morgan has been posting what she deemed evidence on social media of just how close she and Lana have gotten in the previous years. Inserting Morgan into the storyline has been an interesting choice, as many fans expected her to join the Fiend Bray Wyatt, but regardless of this, Morgan is still in a featured role and is looking to make the most of it. While nobody wants to see the Lana-Lashley-Rusev angle drag out for too much longer, adding Morgan to the situation has certainly got fans interested, as it seems this latest chapter is just getting started. Back to AEW now, and the new company certainly appears to be one of the hottest tickets in town. Their 10,000-seat venues sell out almost immediately, and one 20,000-seat sellout gained the attention of scalpers, meaning it's often hard for fans to get tickets. Scalpers bought out AEW's first few tapings for Dynamite, which means not every seat was filled, as some scalpers were left with tickets that they didn't have time to sell after flooding the market. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, though, there are some who have been told that Tony Khan bought all the tickets for some sold-out events to make it appear like the product was hot. Khan obviously hasn't confirmed this rumor, but if it is true, it's an interesting strategy to both fight off scalpers and keep your product looking hot. Of course, buying all the tickets to your own show isn't going to make Khan any money, but it seems that AEW is a huge success with a crowd that is more than happy to pay. From one new show to another now, as straight-up Steve Austin followed Raw throughout its run on the USA Network, and now the show is back for its second season. In a statement by the USA Network, a second season was confirmed, as the Rattlesnake will receive 8 more episodes to raise some hell. The statement read, USA Network today announced it has picked up hit unscripted series Straight Up Steve Austin for a second season. Expected to premiere this summer, Season 2 will consist of 8 half-hour episodes and is produced by Line by Line Media with Steve Austin and Dave Barsky, Dirty Jobs, as executive producers. In the first season, Austin had Becky Lynch on the show, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets another superstar for the show in Season 2. It probably wouldn't feel like much of a chore at all for any WWE superstar to spend the day with Steve Austin, but that's not a bad thing either. More news from outside the ring now, as there is currently a documentary crew interviewing pro wrestlers. Commenting on the documentary, Dave Meltzer said that WWE may have been doing the same thing we just reported that AEW are alleged to have done. As he said, the story came from people in WWE who explained to them that version, that the fast ticket sales and early sellouts were the company buying up all the tickets. So it's actually a story propagated from within WWE talent or told to WWE talent from within the organization. You'd think people who see through the obvious, but I guess not. AEW's Dynamite debut on TNT, as well as the weeks that followed in Boston and Philly, were sellouts, and though they didn't have butts in every seat, the seats were sold. We're not sure who bought up all the tickets, but it would have been pretty self-defeating for AEW to buy the tickets themselves just to flood a secondary market and keep fans from getting them. We're heading back to the Liv Morgan angle now, as while the 25-year-old has become a big name because of the lesbian storyline, this hasn't sat too well with the company's first actual openly lesbian performer, Sonya Deville, or her tag team partner Mandy Rose, who pitched a similar angle in the past. Fox News recently spoke to Deville about representing the LGBTQ+ community, and it's clear Deville takes her role very seriously, as she said, "Obviously, representing the LGBTQ community is something near and dear to my heart because you look at me circa 2015 when I was getting on Tough Enough and Triple H asked me on TV, are you in a relationship? A simple question for most people to answer, but for me, I wasn't openly gay yet, so I was like, what do I say? At that moment, I said I have a girlfriend. From that moment on, it has been kind of like a learning process for me as a person, getting comfortable with who I am and being okay with saying those words, I'm gay, out loud, and being comfortable with my sexuality. It is really cool to be at the place that I'm at to advocate or be an example for young girls and guys that are in my shoes that I was in 3 to 4 years ago. It is really special, and I think just being me, being who I am, and being a wrestler can inspire people at home, because now they know it's cool, and they can do it as well." As someone who has legit MMA training, as well as being a fantastic ambassador for the company, Deville has all the skills to be a huge star in the women's division, but fans will just have to wait and see whether WWE utilizes the Jersey Devil to her full extent. And finally, we've got some news from Kurt Angle, as the Olympic gold medalist continues to be a person of interest after his retirement. A family man, Angle and his wife recently adopted a son from Bulgaria, and in an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Kurt revealed that his son has some big ambitions. He said, "Our adopted son Joseph wants to be a WWE superstar. He's a big WWE fan and wants me to get him a WWE tryout when he gets older. I told him if he does good in school, I'll get him a tryout." A tryout with WWE would motivate even the worst student to try their best, but that isn't all Angle has had to say. In that same interview, Angle also spoke about his 2001 face run against the Alliance, and even admitted that while fans may have loved the segment where he doused the group in milk, it didn't smell too good for the passengers on a flight. He said, "That was my fault. I had just got done and had milk all over me, and there was a red-eye flight in an hour, and it was the only flight I could catch that night, so I went soaking wet. I went, and about 3 hours on the plane, it smelled like sour milk. Everyone's looking around like, who stinks? It was great. I had to throw the shoes out. It was funny. Anytime, if I could do it again, I would, to see the looks on those people's faces on the plane, yeah. Though it's been nearly 20 years since the incident, Milkomania is still running wild with Angle, who has settled in well, it seems, in his new role as a WWE backstage producer.